Retail workers of Reddit, what is the most desperate scam a customer has tried to pull on you? I used to work a game store a little more than 10 years ago. Once had a woman come in dressed fairly trendy and ask for 2 PlayStation portables, PSP, 2 Xbox 360s, and a handful of games and accessories. My store was pretty slow, so this would be a pretty big sale for the day, and I was excited about it. She goes to pay and hands me a credit card which was not laminated and appeared to be printed out on a home color printer. I told her it wouldn't work, and she said just scan it anyway. So I scanned her fake credit card, which clearly did not have a magnetic strip, and it didn't work, of course. She told me to just put the numbers in on the computer. I refused and she asked why, seemingly legitimately confused. I told her I just couldn't. She told me she would be back with cash. I put everything back on the shelves. She did not return. September 12, 2001, USA. A guy in Spartanburg, South Carolina calls and says that his weed trimmer was in the Twin Towers in New York City the day before and got destroyed by terrorists and demanded I replace it under warranty. I've heard that at least one divorce came out of the attack. The guy worked and one of the towers and his wife called and terrified asking where he was, and he said I'm at work when he was in fact with his mistress. He wasn't aware that his work didn't exist anymore. Years ago I worked at a small hardware store where they were constantly getting huge rolls of copper wire stolen. One day this guy and his girlfriend come in to return a roll. I was a few months in on the returns counter. They had no receipt, and when I scanned the item for the return it was only doing the price per foot. I couldn't figure out how to get the SKU or the price for the whole roll. Called the manager, and he comes out and right away knows there's no way these people bought a roll and returned it. So he asks when they bought it, and they say 2 weeks ago, the common response, and my manager tells them oh really, because the last time we sold an entire roll was over 3 months ago. The guy starts to get brave and tells him, so you're saying I stole it? And my manager says yes. They end up leaving and left the roll behind. Before they leave the store the guy says I'm coming back and bringing the cops. Manager says go ahead, that way you can explain to them how you stole the roll. Sold a guy a phone years ago when I worked for a wireless carrier. Spent an hour getting all his information transferred and set up his new phone. He comes in the next day with a shattered screen. Apparently he didn't remember that I was the rep who helped him and proceeded to tell me that is how it looked when he left the store. Needless to say the phone was not replaced. We had some members of the traveling community pull into our car park one summer. Guy comes to the till to buy 2 patio kits at £50 each. I tell him the total is £100 and he says he bought one for £50 the day before in another branch. I say yes, but you're buying 2 so it's doubled. He then starts to argue that I'm overcharging him. This went on for 10 minutes with me explaining that he's buying 2 so it's more expensive than 1. His entire plan was to attempt to hold up the queue to a point where I'd give him 1 for free by acting like a dumb freak. Once he realized the queue had disappeared, due to it being a freaking huge DIY store with multiple cashiers, he suddenly clicked and paid up, never to be seen again. The store was open until midnight the 2 last nights of the financial year calendar. Apparently the store thought someone might come in at 11:59, the last chance they had to deck out their entire office with new laptops and chairs and shout. After about 9 PM the store was pretty much a complete ghost town. By 10 PM to 11 PM the store was the cleanest it ever was since it was built. On this one night the phone rang at about 11:30 PM. The guy wanted to know if we were still open because he wanted to buy something specific. It turned out we had it in stock, and he told me several times that he was going to get out of his pajamas, get dressed and come down to the store. I was like, sure. The item will be at the front counter whenever you're here to collect it. So he turns up and tells me again that he had to get out of his pajamas, get dressed and come down to the store to pick up this item. It was about 11:45 PM by this point, and so I just told him how much it was going to cost, and then he asked for a discount. I said why? He said for being your last customer of the evening. I told him no, there's no reason for giving out that kind of a discount, and besides, we weren't closed yet. There might be other customers, He might not have been the last one. that night, and besides, it costs what it costs. He told me again that he had to get out of his pajamas, get dressed and come to the store to buy this item. He paid full price for all his troubles. Years ago I worked at a Walmart and this guy comes in trying to return his Wi-Fi that doesn't work. I just bought this for my kids last week and it's already broken, but they won't take it back because I lost my receipt. The Wi-Fi in question was the most beat up and disgusting looking gamma cube I have ever seen, like he found it in a landfill or something. I should also point out that I wasn't working the return desk or even a cashier. I was stocking the food department. Turns out he was trying to talk every employee in the store into either giving him a refund or a Wi-Fi. I used to work at Best Buy. This guy came in and returned a laptop saying that the box had some old laptop in it. He was yelling and screaming that we don't know how to do business. Manager gave him full refund. We started to check that old laptop he brought in. It won't turn on. Looks like the motherboard was toast. We pulled the hard drive out and started checking the data. Hard drive was completely fine with everything on it. We started looking for the clues and found the pictures of the guy who returned the laptop. It was his old machine. We had all his info. Manager called him and said he has 15 minutes to bring the new laptop back or he is calling police. That guy came in, dropped the laptop at front desk. Never saw him again in the store. I had a customer come to purchase some stuff and they had found a coupon from 3 years ago on Google Images for 50% off whole purchase. I told her I can't do that and the only one we had going at the time was not viable for her purchase. She yelled stupid loud, stormed out cursing, and I felt good. She emailed corporate and I got in trouble for making her upset. I once had a lady come in and try to price match an ad that looked faded and had weird graphics. I told her I needed to see the date on it and she got mad. Turns out it was faded and had weird graphics because it was over a decade old. She threatened to sue my manager and I for discrimination and then for trashing her antique because we threw the ad out. I don't miss retail. Not sure if it qualifies as a scam or not. Probably just attempted shoplifting. When I was working as an electronics cashier, I asked a woman if she needed help buying a TV. She said no thanks and placed a smart TV into her cart. I asked her if she wanted to make the purchase at electronics and she said she wanted to pick up a couple more things in electronics. I went to help another customer when I realized the woman was rushing towards the front of the store with the TV. I immediately radioed loss prevention that someone was trying to run out with a TV and they stopped her at the door. Her immediate defense was I paid for this in electronics. I just left the receipt in my car. I have no idea how that made logical sense in her mind, since of course she couldn't have the receipt in her car if she just bought the TV in electronics. Oh boy, back in high school, when I worked part-time at a KFC, there was this one fat man who would come in, order a 2-piece quarter pack, and then claim we forgot his chicken. Like, when we turned around to fetch his drink at the end of the order, he would open the box, take out the chicken pieces and hide them in his pockets. Hot chicken, right in his pockets. I got so fed up with everyone just giving him extra chicken all the time that I demanded he turned out his pockets one day when he tried to pull it, and wow lo and behold this guy has his pockets full of drumsticks. Worked in a bottle shop. One afternoon a shady character entered and spent 10 minutes browsing the liquor section. I stayed at the checkout and watched him on the CCTV. He ended up shoving 2 bottles of Johnny Walker Blue down his pants and walked out. Store policy is not to confront shoplifters. That's what insurance is for. I called the police and burned the footage onto a DVD for them to collect. About an hour later the same guy returns with the bottles demanding a cash refund because he purchased the wrong type. Just as I was telling him I can't do a refund without a receipt, the police walked in to collect the footage. He left with them in handcuffs. We don't deliver the pizzas we make, it's carry out only. Had a customer call and have a long/angry conversation with me because I wouldn't deliver to her. She proceeds to say a couple times, "You must be new here. I know the owner personally," to which I responded, "Well, I'm the owner's daughter and we don't deliver." Retail workers of Reddit, what is the most desperate scam a customer has tried to pull on you? Please comment below. Please like this video and subscribe.